Here they come with the Speedlings, taking out every one of those Marines. There are a few left from ALEEEEEEESA, but these Speedlings aren't going to have much trouble cleaning this up, it looks like. Although no, ALEEEEEESA with some great micro there manages to hold it off. Almost a dead even trade there, but it looks like ALEEEEEESA and BrokenRythm are still going to maintain a loose contain on their Zerg opponents. Basically, they are not going to be able to take any expansions beyond the 2 expansions right in front of their mains, their naturals here. So that is going to make it very difficult for them to expand across the rest of the map. As you can see, Harry has not even taken a second base yet. It looks like he is getting up another hatchery in his main and also throwing down a HaRyChEs den. But one thing to note is BrokenRythm and ALEEEEEESA have both put up command centers back at their naturals, so they are already on two base each, and the hatchery for Wannabecool is getting close to being finished. And it actually looks like Harry just now putting his down, and there are once again a large amount of Marines starting to mass out here. But if we look at these Zerg players, it looks like there are a good amount of Speedlings and Banelings once again. The HaRyChEs den is finished. There is the range upgrade coming right now. But as we can see, there are not any HaRyChEs being produced right now for some reason. I'm not sure why he would actually produce or research the Hydra tech and then not actually build any. So we may see some coming from him a little bit later, although you can see on the production menu there continuing to crank out Zerglings. And it looks like we are seeing also they're going to be putting down an Infestor pit. Yeah, that is just now finished. Infestors would actually be very, very strong against this infantry-based army, especially with the Banelings in the mix. And it looks like ALEEEEEESA picking up, going to try to do some kind of drop play here as well. 2 medevacs full of Marines. That is going to be 16 Marines with medevac support. And here come the Banelings on the front, going to try to break this contain once again, and a ton of damage. The Marines being spread, but there are just way too many Banelings and Zerglings here for them to handle. And it looks like 2 Zerglings managing to live through that initial hit, but just now finishing up from those last few Marines coming up. And here comes the drop from ALEEEEEESA, going to try to get in here and do a ton of damage, taking out a lot of workers. This is not defended at all. There are some Banelings trying to morph in right now, a bunch coming from Harry and some from Wannabecool as well. But it looks like he is going to take out the spawning pool, which is a huge deal, and immediately lifts off because, of course, there is no anti-air here. And he's just going to drop 1 Marine at a time and just soak up as much Baneling damage as he possibly can. And it looks like he is actually going to force the Zergs to actually waste a large amount of minerals and gas invested in these Banelings on just trying to take out these Marines and continuing to just drop Marines 1 by 1, 2 by 2. And there are literally no drones left. Oh, 1 more left in the geyser right now, and that is the last one. So yeah, pretty much no drones left for Wannabecool right now at his main. He is getting a decent amount of drones at his natural and trying to put down his spawning pool again. Looking at his ally, he does have his expansion up and running at his natural, but once again we can see there is no Mutatech or anything else. He does have the Roach Tech up and running still, as well as his Hydra Tech, but if we look at the units overlay here right now, we can see that he has not utilized that. There are no Hydras or Roaches on the map, and ALEEEEEESA continuing to put pressure on with these dropships full of Marines, although it looks like the Marines are now officially out, so he's going to have to get more. And there are a couple of Infestors out on the map from Wannabecool now as well, although as you can see, does not have quite enough energy just yet to do a fungal growth, but once he does, that is going to be absolutely crucial. And BrokenRythm bringing in the big guns now, getting Siege Tank. Siege Tank's so strong against Banelings and Zerglings, and he is also getting up another expansion on the left side of the map, so ALEEEEEESA and BrokenRythm in very, very strong control, just in a great position on this map. They control the Zerg's movement. They basically have the ability to shut down anytime they try to move out on the map. We've seen them try it a few times, and with Speedlings and Zerglings, which are supposed to be very strong counters for these Marines, but the Marines just showing that they can hold off these Zerg advances, and it looks like ALEEEEEESA moving in here once again with another force. Pretty good fungal growth. They're getting a decent amount of these Marines, and even one of the medevacs there, but unfortunately there are no Zerglings or Banelings to take advantage of the situation, although here comes some HaRyChEs and a few Banelings. The Banelings going down very quickly, and the Hydra's trying to move in here and do some damage, but with these medevacs, the Marines and Marauders are going to be far too much for that Zerg army to take on, and it looks like Wannabecool once again is in big trouble because there is just a lot of infantry in his base wailing away at his economy, preventing him from getting anything up and running back at his main base once again, taking out the Baneling's nest, and it looks like he is going for the infestation pit, and there is the research for the energy upgrade going for the infestors right now, but he is actually going to save that infestor pit, or infestation pit rather, for the time being. And ALEEEEEESA once again moving over here, trying to do some harassment. The Zerglings in pretty good position, and once the Zerglings are actually in position to defend the base in the low ground, ALEEEEEEESA immediately moves up to the high ground. So very, very good kiting and just moving his dropships and I'm sorry, his medevacs and his infantry army around, trying to do as much damage as possible, catching his opponent out of position, and then really capitalizing on that. And meanwhile, there is a scary large Terran force out at the main, and looks like ALEEEEEESA's medevac's finally going to be taken out. A fungal growth going down and trapping all 3 of the remaining medevacs, which is going to prevent him from getting those out. But as we can see, our Terran players have a ton of Marines, and it looks like a couple of Marauders finally joining the mix here as well, and siege tanks all over this high ground from BrokenRythm. So I don't think that there's anything that our Zerg players can do at this point in the game. ALEEEEEESA once again going to drop in the back, but there are a good amount of HaRyChEs here to defend against this. So ALEEEEEESA is going to need to be very careful about how he defends this, because if he loses any of those medevacs to those HaRyChEs, he could be in big trouble. But no, the Hydras do not manage to do any significant damage. Here comes the fungal growth, which are going to keep those infantry from moving away, and as you can see, doing a little bit of damage. But with those medevacs overhead and a decent amount of energy, it's not going to matter. And it looks like this is basically all but GG, as BrokenRythm is pushing in, doing a slow push with his siege tanks and infantry, and we can see he's even taken another base. So the Terran player is just in complete control of the map, and somehow managing to take on this Zerg army of Speedlings and Banelings with just infantry, which was absolutely incredible. This is seriously, seriously high pressure, and Harry just leaves the game, rage quits without even a GG. No, I'm just kidding. It's not technically a rage quit, is it? I don't know. What do you guys think? If you leave without GGing, is it always considered a rage quit? I mean, could it possibly just be, and there's the GG from Wannabecool, but could it possibly just be that they left without saying GG because they forgot, or just because whatever? I don't know. Is it possible to leave without GGing and it not be a rage quit? I don't know. Leave your opinions in the comments below. We'll see what people think about that. I've personally always called it rage quitting, but recently I've seen some people refuting that. But anyways, thanks for watching this game, guys. ALEEEEEESA and BrokenRythm showing that they are quite the duo, and not even having to really use most of their forces. You can see there's just a ton of forces sitting up on the high ground here outside of the Zerg bases. So anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. If you like the videos, of course, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to try to get some more videos up this week, although I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a Wacky Wednesday this week or not. We'll see what happens, but at this point, it's a little bit up in the air, so just giving you guys a heads up on that. And I feel like I was going to say something else. Oh, yes, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I'm going to have the links to those on my profile in the description here. GG.